I wanted to tell you a little bit about some friends of mine that I went out. I was going to go out with them the other night and have a couple of beers. And my wife said, whatever you do, don't start buying rounds for all of your friends. She says, I know your friends, you're going to end up getting stuck with the bill. They're not going to buy a round. You're going to end up paying the whole thing. And I said, honey, that isn't going to happen. These guys are good guys. Don't worry about it. So we go out and the first round comes, and you know how, one beer kind of tastes like a second beer and like a third beer. So we have a couple of rounds, and a couple of guys, they met some girls over by the bar, and they joined us and they started ordering drinks. And, we got to the end of the night and I looked around and I was all by myself. Where were those other guys? Exactly what my wife said was going to happen. And who's coming over to me but the bartender? And what's he got in his hand? The bill. So he hands me that bill, and I've got nothing to do but pull out my plastic, put it down, and pay that bill. And I said, darn it, what am I going to do? I go home, and my wife is going to want to see this thing, and she's going to say, see, exactly what I said is going to happen. So I got home, and the whole way home, I said, what am I going to do? And I thought, I got an idea. So I went upstairs and I got into her sewing kit, and I said, this is easy. We'll just cut this bill down to size. I said, shots? I didn't have a shot. I'll just get rid of that shot like that. And that bill's smaller already. So I started looking at the bill again, and I said, champagne. I said, holy smokes, those girls are really taking us for a ride. I said, get rid of that champagne, because I can't explain that anyway. So the bill got a little bit smaller, a little more manageable. So I looked, and I don't know how many rounds of beer there were on there, but I said, well, I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to get rid of that. So there's just one round on there. And now that bill's cut down to size. So just then I heard my wife coming up the stairs. I said, great, I got the bill. So she comes into the bedroom. She says, what's that? I said, that's the bill. You said I could only buy one round, and take a look. I only bought one round. So she grabs it and she looks at that, and she looks it up and down. She looks at me and she says, congratulations, you only bought one round. I said, see, I told you that was going to happen. And she said, but I just don't understand, why is one round of beer $650? Well, I'll tell you what, there is no winning on that. So, those guys they really are pretty good guys. And one of them is a detective, and he was telling us how to catch a crook. And what he does is when they go to a city, they number each of the buildings in a rectangle. And so then if they get on the radio and they say, go to building number 9, then everybody goes to that top right-hand corner building. And so each of these buildings have a number. Oh, there we go. Each has a number. The 7, of course, is building number 7. 9 is building number 9. The ace, well, that would be building number 1. And the jack would be building number 11. And and the queen would be building number 12. All right. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to pretend to be the detective, and I want you guys to be the robbers. Okay. And I'll show you the technique that he taught me the other night. So what I'd like you to do is put your finger on one of those cards. Okay. One of those cards representing a building. And let's say you put your finger on building number 2. All right. On the deuce. When I tell you to move, you can move anywhere that those arrows go. So that would be left and right, up and down, but you can't go diagonally. Just like with any other building, you can go out the front door, you go out the back door, you could jump out the windows on the sides, but you can't run diagonally between buildings. And so select one of those buildings that you're going to hide in. And then now that you've selected it, I want you to move the number of buildings equal to the value of the building. So again, if you're on building number 2, you can move 2 buildings. Now, if you were really a crafty robber, you could go to the building number 1, the ace, and come back to building number 2, or you could go up to the 9, over to the 10. You decide how you want to do it, okay? But make that move right now. And what I'll do, now that you've made your move, is I'll get rid of one of those buildings because I know you're not there. And now you're on a new building, and that building has another number, or maybe you went back to your old building. That's possible, but you're on another building, and I want you to go again, the number of buildings equal to the number of the building that you're on. So if you're on building number 9, I want you to move 9 buildings following those arrows. Okay, do that right now. Okay, and now that you've done that, I can remove some more buildings because I know that nobody's hiding in those buildings. Now, we can switch it up just a little bit. And if you're in a red building, I want you to spell R-E-D, that is, move 3 buildings. And remember, in any pattern that you want, as long as you follow the arrows. If you're in a black building, I would like you to go B-L-A-C-K, so 5 buildings, okay? Move 5 buildings. And once you've done that, I can remove some more buildings from consideration because I'm narrowing down on where you might be. Now, let's think about what we've done now. You picked where you went, where you started from. You picked the route that you went. The number was dictated by the card that you were on or the building that you were on. And then I removed buildings that I knew that you weren't in. And I can even remove another building because I know there's nobody hiding there. So just like as we did at the very beginning, I would like you to count the number of buildings equal to the building that you're in right now. So if you're in building number 6, you move 6 buildings, just as we did before. So go ahead and move now. And I'll remove another building. Now, I know that there's nobody in one of those buildings, and I can remove it. And I want you now to move the number of buildings equal to the building I take off. Every decision's been made by you up till now. This is the first decision that I'm going to make. And I'm going to take building number 9 because I know you're not there. And I want you to move 9 buildings. All right. So when you're done, we really have maybe a 1 in 3 chance of finding people in the different buildings. But I think my chances are a lot better because I'm a pretty good detective. So I'm going to remove building number 6 because I know you're not there. And I'm going to remove building number 2 because you're not there. Everybody went to building number 1, but really the joke's on you because building number 1 was really hiding the jail. Well, thank you. And now for I told you that these friends of mine were kind of a funny lot. And so for my last trick, I'd like to show you what one of my friends does. And he takes, here we go. He takes cards because he can never really decide who he wants to go out with. And he puts girls' names on it. Okay, so he put Tina, here we go. Put Tina on that one, on the ace, put Rose, okay, Aaron, Tess, Ruth, okay, Rita, Jean, and Jackie, could you unmute your microphone for me, Jackie Unitas? Can you unmute your microphone, please? Okay. And I'd like you to select one of these girls' names, Jean, Cara, Edna, Lois, anyone?
Leah.
Leah, okay. So Leah, now, then what he does is he flips the cards over and he tries to figure out what time he's going to pick Leah up. So he could pick her up at 8 o'clock, the jack is 11, 9 o'clock, ace, what we got a joker, 6 o'clock. Jackie, pick a time here.
8 o'clock.
13, I guess. What's that?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Okay. Now, I told you this guy's kind of a funny guy, and I really thought that I could predict exactly what he's going to do. I predicted that he's going to go out with Leah and he's going to pick her up at 8 o'clock. So this card has been in sight the entire time, and that holds my prediction. And I predicted, well, Lucy. You think, Lucy, that's not so close to Leah, but it is Lucy on the 8. And Leah and Lucy's on the 4 of spades, 4 o'clock, which is where Leah is. So he's going to pick Lucy up at 4 o'clock, just as I predicted.
Very good.
Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I appreciate your attention. And let me hand it over to Chuck Thomas.